Hi everyone, good morning. Today I would like to talk a bit about one of the roots elements of eclectic parenting, eclectic motherhood and eclectic parenting, and that is sustainability. Um, Before even having kids, I started reading more into sustainability and realizing the importance it has. And it all started actually with my diploma project in architecture because it was all about how you could raise your own food within the city. So, would there be a way to create some sort of module, like you go to IKEA and you buy furniture modules to build your ideal house, and into these modules grow your own food within the city? And what I realized back then through my research was actually what how much space you need and how many resources you need if you want to eat a diet that includes meat and dairy. And this was really a turning point for me in my life because it was actually what introduced me into veganism. It was really interesting because it came out of data. It didn't come because of my love for animals, because I always loved animals. So you might have thought that this was the way to also stop eating them. But no, it actually came really out of realizing how detrimental it is to the environment to choose to eat animal products and dairy, especially when you have the choice not to, and when it is so easy not to in the Western world. Do not worry, this is not a video trying to push you into going plant-based or vegan, though we will talk about our food choices. But it is really about what it means to parent with sustainability in mind. Now, sustainability is a term that includes many, many different topics and many, many different areas of our lives. And the thing is, when you're a parent, you're also not only responsible for your own choices, but responsible for instilling values to your child and raising the next generation. And you actually determine how they will, to a great extent, how they will go about um, their their coexistence with other people and animals and the planet. So, what does actually sustainability mean? Sustainability means um, living in a way and treating the earth in a way that it will be sustainable for all the species that now live on it to keep living on it and not only survive but also thrive. And in order to do that, we have to ensure that there are enough resources for everyone. And I think it's pretty clear to everyone that right now this is not what is happening because we humans overuse Earth's resources in many different ways. And I'm talking about like from fossil fuels to land to agriculture to raising animals to all the plastic and all the pollution that we cause, meaning that we actually kill our seas and kill waters and fresh waters. So it is, I'm sure you've come across articles, even if you're very, very new to this whole idea of sustainability and ecology, you have come across articles and titles talking about these topics. Let's see how we as parents or even as educators, as people working with children, can actually look into sustainability. First, I want to talk about the specific areas that sustainability is related to when it comes to our daily life. Right? We are going to talk about daily life and give practical tips on how you can start living more sustainably, so that it is actually something that doesn't seem like too big, too difficult to do. Like little changes can and will go a long way. So, first of all, it is actually what we eat. So the thing is that our food system is very skewed. We eat foods that are coming from very far away. Even if we look into plant-based diets, into vegan diet, into vegetarian diet. If I go to my local supermarket and I look where the fruit is coming from, it has very often traveled half the world. So one little change you can make is try and buy local produce, no matter what it is that you consume, but try and buy locally. Um, and this means also usually eating things that are in season. And I'm not saying we do that the whole time. We eat bananas the whole year round. Obviously, no bananas grow in the Netherlands, but at least we try that they're fair trade bananas. We make whatever little difference we can make. But if I'm going to eat apples, for example, I will look that they are Dutch apples or pears. And I'll try not to buy strawberries in winter because I know that in the Netherlands I can get locally produced strawberries from even March because of all the greenhouses, which are another issue, but okay, up until July, the end of summer. So eating locally is one thing you can do. Reducing meat, reducing dairy is another step that you can take, and it is very beneficial for your health, but it is also very beneficial for the environment. There are many arguments that all the soya that is grown in rainforests and stuff like that, that it is actually grown to feed vegans. It is not. It is mainly grown to feed cattle and to feed the animals that humans consume. So that is a very skewed narrative. That is not true. Um, I do understand that everything in life is about balance, and that life is short, and if it is very very important for you to enjoy your meat and get pleasure out of your food, and you're very new to plant-based eating and you don't know how to cook tasty plant-based meals yet, it might be more sustainable, there's the word again, for you to start small. So not go full on plant-based or vegan, but do small changes, try and replace some meals. um, and this will make a difference actually, and it will start changing your consumer patterns. And if you know that you allow yourself to eat your meat once a week, for example, you're less likely to abandon your effort with more plant-based, and you could eventually transition if you want. I'm not going into the whole ethics now of the vegan lifestyle, because it is also against animal cruelty, and it does consider the life of every animal equally valuable with the lives of human animals. But it would be a very long discussion, and I don't want to go there yet. If you care what we personally do, we eat plant based at home here in the Netherlands. And when we go to Greece, me and Nikos will indulge, especially into seafood. I used to feel very guilty about it. I don't feel that guilty anymore, to be honest, because it is what actually makes it possible for me on an emotional level to eat a plant-based diet 90% of the time. Um, and then moving on is what we wear, our clothes. The thing is that the most sustainable thing you can do about clothes is buying second hand. Because again, even if you don't use lots of leather or products that come from animals and supporting the animal industry, still buying new clothes costs a lot of resources when it comes to water and energy. Cotton is a very, very, very thirsty plant. It needs lots of water. Um, Linen is a tad better, but still, getting natural fibers does help, because then you don't waste the resources that are related to the production of basically plastic synthetic fibers. So natural fibers are a good choice, and secondhand is the best choice. Um, for the vegans out there, there is also the dilemma of what do you do with secondhand leather products like shoes or bags. Here is the issue that I seem to come across a lot in vegan Facebook groups and vegan communities. By using secondhand shoes or bags, you do get a product that is quite durable, because leather is durable, but on the other hand, you are still promoting the use of animal products by wearing them. And when someone says you're wearing leather shoes on the street, they're not going to ask you if you got them secondhand or if they were a gift. Um, Personally, I find that having a few woolen items and good leather shoes that go along that go along for a long time is actually the sustainable choice for my family. I know they involve cruelty, and I'm not okay with that. But I'm also not okay with the quite bad quality of vegan leather I found out there. I have been disappointed time after time until now with that. Again, I don't want to trigger anyone. I wish I found a good option of really high quality shoes that are also not made of synthetic fibers. It is a dilemma. That's how we go about it. But again, that's why I have eclectic there in the title. It is what I choose to do from different approaches. So second hand for children's clothes as well. The things that I buy new are just socks and underwear, and then very specific clothing. Like if I can't find a UV protective swimwear and summer is coming, then I might buy one. But in general, whenever I see good quality clothes that are my children's size or size up, I will just grab them and keep them and put them away for later on when they grow a bit. So I do buy until one size up. And I always welcome bags of clothes, especially for the little one, from friends. And then I keep what I find we would use, and then I give the rest to thrift shops or charity shops. Um, and that's how we roll when it comes to clothing, how we try and keep our clothing choices sustainable. And I also make quite a few of my own clothes, and I will try and find pieces of fabric at thrift shops. You often have an area where you just have fabrics, because also buying new fabrics is not a sustainable choice. And fabrics will also become more expensive because of the whole energy crisis. So you can look for a nice tablecloth and turn it into a skirt for your little one or for yourself, or sometimes even curtain fabrics, or bed cover fabrics can have really nice patterns and you can use them. Um, Now there are the products that we clean with, that we clean ourselves with, that we clean our home with. Honestly, you can clean up just about everything in your house and on yourself, your skin, your hair, using just an olive oil based soap, and that's also vegan. So just buy a huge block of soap. You have the Aleppo soap, you have the Marseille soaps, you have different kinds of soaps, and you can get like a block like this big for €6 here in the Netherlands. And for the same price, I can get only half the size, or even one third of the size or the weight of a fancy soap bar. We do also get the fancy soap bars, shampoo bars. We use Happy Soaps at the moment, and we have been for the last, I think, 2 years, because we just like the variety of like the nice smells and the nice colors. And but it's a nice to have. We wouldn't have to use them, and it is one of the first products that will go out the window. Shall we land in financial difficulties? Just a big block of Aleppo soap can clean everything. You can clean your clothes with it. You can just use a grater and just grate it and wash your clothes with it, along with baking soda and vinegar to soften the water. There are options. I do understand that not everyone has the time to sit at home and grate soap while listening to podcasts and the fairies are singing out the window. That it sounds a bit like, who has time for that? Great, I get it. However, usually for people in my bubble, if you don't have the time, you do have a bit of extra money to spend in buying an eco-friendly soap instead of the like super chemical brands that have tons of chemicals in them in order to smell nice for a very long period of time. Like, I'm always impressed and shocked whenever I go to Greece and my mother or my mother-in-law wash our clothes using their detergents, and they will smell like 3 months later after 3 or 4 washes with my own eco detergents. And I do miss that nice smell, that stays on clothes forever. But I know it's really bad for me and my kids to inhale all those chemicals just so that you have a long lasting smell. If you want to go all the way hippie, you can also use soap nuts. We do have them. I find that they need a really high water temperature in order to clean smells like sweat and sweaty socks and stuff. So I kind of have them at the back of my cupboard and don't use them that often. But soaps do wash, and if you really want brand names, I am using Marcel's Green Soap detergents. I don't like the plastic packaging because, even though it's recycled and recyclable and stuff, still you do use up these resources, and we have a huge plastic problem. But if I do want a bit of a nice smell that's also eco-friendly and health-friendly, I will go for Marcel's soap. Otherwise, it is green soap for us. Um, and then it's the question of how we transport ourselves. The Netherlands is a really good country to actually not use a car. We don't have a car. Nikos has a driving license. We live here now 13 years. We have 3 kids, and we take them to school and all sorts of activities. And we haven't um, used a car ever or needed a car ever. And Nikos has been commuting before. Before Corona, he has been commuting to Amsterdam for work. Now he's working mostly from home, but public transport is really, really good, and everyone is biking everywhere. I'm not even a biker. I've tried, fallen a few times, so I'm not doing it for everyone's safety. But we've arranged our life in a way so that actually everything is walking distance. What is walking distance for me might not be walking distance for you, because I'm very used to walking, and 40-50 minutes of walking one direction is absolutely fine for me. I know that it's not the average. Um, However, we can choose. I mean, if you're considering, moving a house soon, or buying a house somewhere, do consider a house that is close to the places you need to be visiting every day, school or work, or ideally both. I know that commuting is the norm, but at least for school or the kids' activities, that you don't have to get in the car, or that you can use public transport, or that you can go there by bike. And then, of course, it's the question of how we do long distance travel. And long distance travel is something that we suck at, because we are expats. We live now in the Netherlands and our family is in Greece. We fly there. We have 5 kids. We could go with a car. If we would drive, it would take days and days. And our kids are still way too small, to be able to do this journey, especially the little one, because she's not even 3. Um, so we are traveling with plane. We try not to travel often. Like usually we go just once a year in Greece, um, so that at least we reduce our travel time. And we are hoping, because the plan is to move to Germany, that then we could actually go by car and not fly. Do try and go with a train whenever you can actually travel with a train, or with a car. But train is ideal, because it is, again, mass transportation. It's public transport. It's much more sustainable, much better for the environment. Um, and then another area that is very relevant to parents is, of course, the things that our kids play with. Um, and this is a big one. This is something we have been fighting for and about with our families, friends, and families as well. Because, yes, kids do get the instant gratification and the huge, like, endorphin boost from all the plastic crap you can find out there. But it is actually bad for the environment, and that means that it is bad for their future. And is really a 5 minute thrill worth it? I think not. We have been consistently buying for our kids wooden toys. Yes, they're ridiculously expensive, but they really go a long way. Like, kids play for them, with them, for ages. We've really invested in open-ended play elements. I will make a video about open-ended play again at some point. But it is really worth it to look into the materials that go into your children's toys, and there are more and more sustainable options out there. We do have plastic toys, but the plastic toys that we have are also played with for a very long time. We have Duplo, we have Lego, we have Playmobil, we have Kinetics and Magna tiles, which are the magnetic tiles that you can play with. These are toys that are really played with for years and years, and we've got also some second-hand Duplo and some second-hand Playmobil. And this is also a way you can go about it if you want to make these toys a bit more sustainable and planet friendly. Um, and you can always get lots of things from nature to play with, and every season has different things to offer. Like, really, if you go into our living room right now, first it's a chaos, and I would be slightly embarrassed to show you, but there are seashells that we have gathered from our summer holidays. There is a big box of buttons that I found at the thrift store that the kids are playing with. There are the wooden toys, but there are also like leaves and sticks and chestnuts and acorns, like literally from the forest into our house, and the kids play with them a lot, and they really enjoy that type of play. So these are the different categories I could come up with that are more relevant with family life. So food, clothes, cleaning items, traveling, and toys. Um, and it might seem like a lot, like you have to change your whole lifestyle. But I have some tips about that, how to get started. Start small. Like, choose one or two of these categories and see what you can do. You can, for example, you can go into your bathroom and look at the products you have there, um, and see how many you can replace with a bar of soap, of green soap, with a bar of green soap, and you will see that immediately, like shampoo bottles, hair softeners, detergents for the clothes, they can all go out the window and be replaced with that. And also, when it comes to your own care products, you can also replace lots of makeup items with more sustainable choices. You can use different kinds of oils and essential oils to clean and hydrate your skin. You can use lots of makeup products that actually have paper packaging right now. I have like a mascara, eyeliner, lipstick that all come into paper packages, and there are more and more options in the market. So that reduces at least the plastic. Um, and they are usually not loaded with all sorts of harmful chemicals as well. They're more clean products. Um, and yeah, just start from the bathroom, for example, and just say, I will replace one meal a week with a plant-based meal, or I will start, instead of a toast in the morning, I will eat oats, like a porridge with, so instead of cheese, or you can swap your cheese for a plant-based cheese, these kind of things. And it involves a bit of trial and error, and I know that many families cannot afford that, because if you buy the plant-based cheese, one brand of plant-based cheese, and it sucks, then you feel you wasted your money, and you don't want to, you're very discouraged to try another brand. Fair enough, but you can try once a month. You don't have to waste your money. You can just spread the trials throughout time, in order to make it easier for your wallet as well. um, and the other thing is, small changes, like I said, can go for a longer time, because you don't feel deprived. You don't feel that you really like try to change everything all at once, and then it's too much, and then you just are like, F it, I will eat that bar of chocolate again, and I will just eat my favorite meat-based meal again, and I can't do it. It's too difficult. I tried, period. Small changes, and try to be consistent with them, and just keep adding, keep swapping products, keep adding them, and you will eventually get there. You will get to the best of your abilities, and that's more than good enough. That's perfect for your family and for your current conditions and circumstances. And please be gentle with yourself, and don't feed the trolls and the fanatics out there, and don't engage with them. Don't let them make you feel bad. I personally, while I used to say that I were vegan, and I were vegan, I were fully vegan for 3 years before I got pregnant, I think, with my first. And then I indulged into dairy again, and then I cut it out again. We don't eat dairy now either. But I chose to stop using the term vegan, even for what I was doing in the past as a complete lifestyle, because it was just too tiring to have to explain to everyone that I did the best for my own circumstances. So, just don't get there. Do whatever changes you do for yourself. You can join groups that are about sustainable living, vegan groups. Um, and you can just introduce yourself and say, hey, I'm striving for this lifestyle, for a more sustainable lifestyle. uh, I wouldn't go all the way and start putting, vegan badges everywhere, or eco warrior, or eco activist, and that kind of stuff, because there will be that person that comes to you and says, "Oh, you're not doing it right, or you're not doing it good enough, or not doing it passionately enough." There are the people who just get a lot of energy from bringing others down. We don't engage with those people, okay? Like you, you have my permission not to engage with those people because they are just extremely toxic, and they could use their energy by supporting others. Yet they use their energy to bring others that are making an effort down. So these are not our people. These are not our tribe. We don't engage with them. Um, and do spend time with people. Do try and find a community with people who are also trying to bring a change, who are also more interested into spending more time in nature. Get to know nature more. Go out in nature with your kids. Familiarize with the planet, because if you are familiar with the planet, with Mama Earth, then you care more about protecting it. Have a look at documentaries with animals. It is much better actually to go through this whole process of making your life more sustainable from a positive side. I find it, I get much more energy from looking into a documentary of lovely animals, like hopping around, instead of looking at a documentary with lots of distraction. But it might actually give you the first proverbial, like, kick on the ass to get started. I did actually stop eating animals when I watched Earthlings, and when I watched Fork Over Knives, and all these very shocking documentaries about how animals are treated and what the detrimental effects are for our health. I don't do that anymore, and I protect myself from all these cruel images of vegan groups, because I know I have the information, I know what is going on, and I try to just feed my brain and my soul with nice images of nature and all it has to offer to us. But if you feel you have no idea what's going on in factory farms, or you have no idea what's going on when it comes to the destruction of earth and our waters, I do recommend watching documentaries like Seaspiracy or Cowspiracy, and these kind of things. Just so you get an idea why I'm talking about it, why I'm talking about the importance of parenting our kids into living a more sustainable lifestyle. And one last note about this topic is that um, depending on the age of your kids, could be that they resist the change. Could be that actually they don't like that their diet changes suddenly if you're cooking for them, or they don't like that their plastic toys are gifted to someone else, or if you want to take the plastic toys away because they would be harmful for them because of the chemicals, for example. But yeah, they might not like the change. um, I would not force them to follow. I would, and that's what we do in our family, I would try and lead by example. I would explain why we make the choices we make as adults. And to give you an example, when it comes to food, our oldest, who is 9.5 years old right now, she is a very, very conscious plant-based kid. She will not eat animals or animal products. Maybe she would eat a pizza with dairy cheese if we are in Greece and there is no vegan cheese. But in general, she is very conscious about it. And she does say that her love of animals is translated also in what she eats. And our middle child is more trying to find out who she is and have her own identity. So there were times that she asked to eat meat when we were at holidays in Greece and people around here were eating meat. But you can see that she tried. We just say, this is actually a cow, or this was actually a pig, um, or this was actually a chicken, and she would eat it, look at her older sister, provoke her, and then stop and go back to her pasta or risotto or whatever plant-based meal the rest of us would be having. And we have explained to our kids that actually if they see us consume animal products during the holidays, it is because we were raised with those, and it is our unhealthy indulgence and not something that is good for us. but the same way that they would enjoy sometimes eating an ice cream while it's not good for them. That's our indulgence, and that we are not necessarily proud of it, but that it is what it is, and it helps us keep our goals, be loyal to our goals in what we eat in the long run. uh, but yeah, I feel that if you force your diet to your child, how can I explain this? No, I will miss my point. No, what I want to say is, like, as parents, we make the choices of what our children eat, right? Because we cook for them. So if your child was asking you to eat junk food every day, you wouldn't cook junk food for them every day because you know it's bad for their health. So in that sense, yes, we do force our dietary choices to our children because we are responsible for their health and well-being. So this is what comes on the table. But on occasions where we are going at a party, they're going to a friend's party, or we are on holidays and we are not the ones cooking, and they do have a choice on what to choose to eat from a menu, then we give them the freedom to choose what they want. And we hope that with us leading by example, they will eventually have significantly healthier eating patterns and make significantly healthier eating choices than we did um, growing up, because of the environment we grew up in and the cultural background that we have, which is a very meat heavy one, being born and raised in Greece, both me and Nikos, my husband. Um, so that was like the full disclosure of how it is in our house at the moment. I hope you find it helpful. I hope that you will take the step and make the small changes. Be proud of yourself if you do, and if you're not at this moment in your life yet, if you're still swamped with all sorts of other like survival issues, like do I have enough money to make it through the month, or um, it's okay. Just take this information with you, and when the time is right for you, you will know where to find it again. You will be able to rewatch this video and see if maybe you can take some small steps. But don't be harsh on yourself if this is not actually the right time for you to change how you are living. No, the time will come eventually. That was that. I hope you found it interesting and maybe even inspiring, and looking forward to chatting with you again soon.